Well, hello and what's up YouTube. Today I will be showing you guys how you can assemble your own computer. To start with, let me first introduce you to all the components that I have bought and along with the prices that came along with it. So let's get started. The very first component that I'm going to show you is the motherboard. For the motherboard, I have chosen the Asus H81MCS motherboard, which is a micro ATX format motherboard, and it supports the LGA1150 processors. So that means it supports all the 4th generation Intel Core i processor, and also it says on the cover that it also does support the Intel Celeron and Intel Pentium processors as well. Apart from that, the very next component that I'm going to show you is the processor itself. So for the processor, I have selected the Intel Core i3-4150 processor. It's having 2 cores and also 4 logical cores, and having an internal chassis memory of around 3 MB, and it also comes with the Intel HD 4400 high definition graphics, which is good enough. Apart from that, I've also bought a graphic card, which is the Nvidia GeForce GT710. It's a 1 GB variant, and it's moderately good and entry level graphic card. It came at a very reasonable price of 2100 rupees, so I think it's a not bad choice. And I know that I won't be able to do very high definition gaming, and very new games won't be able to run on this processor and this graphic card, but I am sure that it will be good enough for me to carry out the day-to-day task and also the moderate level of 3D rendering as well. The very next component, which I haven't unboxed yet, is the 1 TB Seagate hard drive, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot actually what model I booked for it, but yeah, anyway, it's a 1 TB hard drive, and it's a normal, it's not an SSD, it's a normal disk drive, and I think that's it. And apart from that, I also have 450 watt Smps along with 8 GB of DDR3 memory by Kingston. So let's get on to our case. Now I know that this case looks a very old case. In fact, it is a very old case. It's my older desktop computer which I used to have as a kid, and I just found it lying somewhere in the corner of my room, so I thought, why not I just use it again instead of buying a new case. I know that that'll be a very bad idea, but there's some issues going on in India right now. We cannot use our 500 and 1000 rupee denomination note anymore. They're redundant, and that just happened while I was shopping for this computer brand, and I mean for all the computer components, and while I was shopping this happened, so I couldn't buy the case, so I have to settle for this old one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly open this up and take out all the older parts and put in the new one and see if the things work. Okay, so let's get rid of that components, and I will be preparing them for the assembly. To start with, let me first put this case aside, put it somewhere else. Okay, so I just get the box aside, and now I will proceed with first opening all the components, and then okay, there's some dust over here. Let me clean the dust first. Okay, so I will be box opening all the components, and then I will be showing you guys individually all the products, and also I will be assembling the CPU onto my motherboard, and I will show you guys how to put the heatsink on as well. So let's get started. Let me just open this. Bring back my trusted knife over here. Okay, so here's the hard disk, guys, and as you can see, it's a 1 TB Western Digital SATA 64 MB chassis. I don't know what that means, but it has 7200 RPM, which I hope is good. I really don't know about it, but I hope it is good. Okay, so let's proceed, guys. I'll just keep it aside, and then later on we will assemble it into our case. Okay, next thing I will be box opening will be my RAM and my SMPS, which also I have ordered from Amazon. Okay. happy with the packaging of Amazon this time. All the products are very nicely set. And here's my 8GB HyperX Fury by Kingston 8GB DDR3 memory. I'm gonna be box opening that later on. First, let me open up the SMPS module over here, which is by Eyeball, and it's as I've told you already before, it's a 450. No, surprisingly it's 500 watt, because I remember I ordered. No, I'm sorry guys, it says over here it's 450 and over here it says 500 watt peak. I don't know what that means, but I ordered a 450 one. Doesn't matter, because 450 or 500, everything is compatible. So let me just open up this thing as well. Oh my god, my mom is trying to get me with all this plastic wrappers around. Okay. Let me open up. So, and that's very nice, they gave all the screws required, and also 2 cable ties. That will come in handy. And let me just take out the SMPS itself. Okay. So here it is, guys. I have already put the 450 watt SMPS onto my case, and if you're wondering, it was as simple as putting it in its slot and fixing all the screws at the back. It was very easy, believe me, guys. And next, after that, we will be opening up all these wires, and then we will be assembling as when we will assemble our motherboard. And then also before that, I will be putting in my new Western Digital 1 TB hard drive, and I'm not going to be removing this hard drive, because even though the slot here is, I believe, not supportive to my motherboard, but I will somehow find some converter, because I have asked somebody, says that there is a converter available for this, and I'm gonna use this as well. And I'm gonna see what's inside this hard drive, you know, amaze myself as to what I was doing when I was a kid. So it'll be good, it'll bring back all the childhood memories. Okay, so stick along, guys, and I will put in next the Western Digital 1 TB hard drive onto the chassis. So guys, here it is. I've already put inside my Western Digital 1 TB hard drive in its slot, and I've secured it with the screws over there. So next up, guys, I will be opening up this motherboard and putting in the CPU. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and open this thing up. I'm gonna carefully open this thing up. Oh, okay. So this one is the SATA cables, which will help me connect my motherboard to the hard drive. Yes, of course, to the hard drive. I just had a small blank, mind blank, brain freeze over there. Sorry for that, guys. And this is the motherboard itself. I'm gonna quickly, just carefully take out. These are the drivers, I believe. And it's DVD. Oh shit, that's gonna be a big issue. It's a DVD. Okay. Next, I will. Okay, and this is the input-output port securing. I'm gonna carefully take out this motherboard, and as you can see, guys, it's a very small motherboard. It's a micro ATX form factor motherboard, and this is where we install the RAM. This is the power connector. This is for the hard drive. This is the PCI Express where we put the graphic card. This is the CMOS memory. This is where we put in the processor. I guess I've told you. These are all the I/O ports, and this is where we hook up the power on and reset buttons, and if any front USB ports are there. So let me open up the processor as well and hook up the processor to the motherboard. Okay, guys, I'm really excited, guys. This is my first time, believe it or not, that I'm ever assembling. I'm a complete amateur, but you know, I learned on the internet. I went to many different websites before I decided that I will be doing something like this, and I thought it would be a good idea to, you know, it will teach me something, and then, you know, it'll give me a lot, sort of like a excitement. It's an exciting thing to do, you know, building your own computer. So I thought, you know, why not do it. On a side note, I'm sorry if I bored you up over there. Okay, so here is the processor, and here is the sticker which I will be putting on my cabinet later on. So I'm gonna keep this aside. Okay, so here is the processor, guys. I'm gonna take it out very carefully. This is the heatsink, by the way, and I will install that later on. But I'm gonna just keep it aside and read the manual first, because I don't wanna fuck up anything. Just gonna keep it aside. I'm gonna pause the video for a while and read the instruction and come back.
Okay guys, so I've read all the instructions and I have some of my doubts cleared already. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the processor onto my motherboard and continue my installation. So I've got the processor over here. I'm gonna quickly open this chassis up from here. Okay. So I'm gonna carefully open this thing up, and what you have to do is you have to match the processor and on the direction on the motherboard, so that you know that it is correctly positioned. So I'm gonna just quickly match the points and I'm gonna put the processor on. So as you can see, there is an arrow marking over here, and this arrow marking I'm gonna match it to the arrow marking on the board over here, and I hope that's correct and I'm not ruining my processor. I'm gonna quickly have a look down there. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, I hope. Okay, so it went down pretty easily on top there and I didn't have to apply any sort of pressure. It just easily got itself in position on its own. And next up I'm gonna put back this small covering over here, and I think this thing will come out automatically. Okay, and then I'm gonna position it so that it slides down there, and then I hope I am not harming the CPU. I hope it is in place. That's what I'm praying. I hope God it's not displaced or have any sort of misplacement. So let's get on ahead guys and put our CPU heatsink at its place. And one of the doubt that I was having before was that whether this heatsink is gonna come with a pre-applied paste or not, or I have to apply a paste on it. So I checked it online and it says that the CPU heatsink come with the the paste applied on it already, so I don't need to get the paste from somewhere else and put it on. So I'm gonna just pause the video for a while and put the heatsink on. Okay guys, so somehow I have reoriented my cooler fan, and I hope that it is correct, because I was having some sort of problem to manage this wire because it was coming in the way of the free movement of the fan. So I hope it is correct guys. I'm just praying. I hope nothing goes extremely like out of my hands. And I'm just gonna keep it aside for a while as well. And next up I'm gonna install the memory onto this motherboard, and then we will install it inside of the cabinet. Okay guys, so here it is, the memory stick. I'm gonna just quickly open up the box so show you what's. Oh damn, that just fell on the motherboard. Thank God. Okay, thank God it didn't. Oh my god, oh my god, I have to be careful. I'm just way too excited to control my nerves. Okay, so here it is, the memory stick. It's very heavy actually, if you ask me. It's quite heavy. It's just one single RAM module, but it's heavy. Looks cool, by the way. This is the most expensive, I mean, compared to the product, the price price product comparison, this is the most expensive product that I have bought, and I hope that this is good. Hope that it doesn't comes out to be not compatible. So here it is. So for installing the memory stick, what you have to make sure is that you have to follow this point over here and match it on to your motherboard's RAM slot, and basically it will just snap in its place. And I'm gonna just try to put it in. Okay. Okay. So I think guys it's in its place, and it went in very easily. The other side also snapped in the lock, so I guess it is in its place. So let's move on guys and install the motherboard onto our cabinet and then proceed from there on. So okay guys, now I will be installing the motherboard onto my cabinet. So first let me remove the old IO plate and go ahead with installing my motherboard onto my cabinet. Okay guys, so after some effort, actually after a lot of effort, I'm able to successfully place in the motherboard, and I hope that I haven't damaged any of the motherboard component, because it was very difficult for me to put inside all the screws over here. I think you should not be using a test pen for that. I think this is the culprit over here. You should be using a plus screwdriver, plus type screwdriver, so that it doesn't falls occasionally onto your motherboard, and the screw also not falls, and everything is secured. So next up, hopefully everything is alright, and this was in fact the most difficult part of placing the motherboard inside. And the first thing that I see is that this motherboard itself is a very small motherboard. Oh my god, just look at it. It's very small. It's smaller than my previous motherboard. And next is I'm gonna hook up everything and see how things works out. So before I put in the power, I'm planning I will connect the hard drive first, and also the graphic card. So next up I will be opening up the graphic card, and let me put that as well inside. So I will show you guys how to put the graphic card in. Carefully open up the sticker over here and take it out. So let me just take out the graphic card from inside. I'm gonna take it out. Wow, just look at it. I know it's a very basic card, but this is the first time I've ever taken out and hold the graphic card. So I'm gonna just put it inside. I'm gonna keep this on the side and bring in carefully my cabinet. Just drag it in, and I'm gonna place my graphic card at its slot. So as far as I think everything is in its place, so next thing up is I'm gonna fix in the power supply and the SATA cables. So guys, next thing up, I will hook in the SATA cables and join the motherboard to my 1TB Western Digital hard drive. So there are two SATA cables that come along. I'm gonna only use one for now. And I'm gonna look for the primary SATA port over here. That one says SATA 1 and SATA 2, so I'm gonna look for the SATA 1. Okay guys, so I'm gonna be plugging in the SATA. I'm gonna just match in the port. So as I can see, there is one L shape over here, so I'm gonna match that L shape on the motherboard. And I guess that's okay, and I will proceed to do the same with my hard drive as well. So I guess both the SATA ports are in, and next I'm gonna connect the power to each of the terminals. So next up guys, I will be putting in the power cables to the individual components and supply the power to the hard drive, to the motherboard, and to the CPU. For that, I'm gonna quickly open this power cable supply. Okay. So the very first power that I'm gonna hook up will be the power to the main board. And as you can see, it's a 12-pin connector. So this is the biggest one. You connect it to this power over here, power slot over here. And you have to press it in until it snaps inside. And I think that's okay. The next thing will be the power for the CPU, and that will come from this 4-pin connector over here. Yes, this one. Okay, that snapped in very easily. The next will be the power to our hard drive. Okay, so that went well inside. I'm gonna quickly just put back my camera. So now that I have already supplied power to the main board, to the CPU, and to the hard disk as well, next up will be, I think we are almost done over here. There's nothing much required except for the CD-ROM. You have to plug it inside, but since I don't have the correct connector, I'm just gonna take the risk of booting up the system using my USB drive on which I have my Windows 10 installed. On which I have my Windows 10, and I'm gonna install it onto this PC using the bootable USB drive. And the rest all cables I'm gonna just secure so that they don't interfere with my motherboard. So here it is guys, I've already connected all my front panel to the motherboard. For this you have to refer to your motherboard manual, and only then you can find out what is the correct way. And I hope I have hooked them up correctly, and I'm just gonna leave this one like that because I don't have any front panel speakers, so I have just this power. I think I got them removed a long while ago. So I think I'm almost ready to start this PC up, and let's see what happens. Well then, here it is guys. Hopefully I've hooked up everything correctly. Everything is just set up, and now I'm gonna just unbox my new monitor, which is an Intex 17-18 inch. I'm not sure about that. I'm just right now I'm just way too much stressed and excited at the same time. So let's see what happens when I unbox my monitor, and I'm gonna hook up my monitor to this CPU and I'm gonna do the initial boot. Okay, so stay with me guys, let's see what happens next. So as you can see guys, I have connected everything up, and let's turn on the computer and hopefully I will hear the beep sound. So guys, after I hooked up everything, I pressed the on button and I even got the beep sound, and I thought that everything was going well, but the computer didn't boot up. I didn't see anything in the coming up on the monitor, so I got panicked and I didn't know what to do. I tried to open everything up, take out all the RAM chips, and checked all the connection. It was only after a long wait that I realized that I had hooked up the monitor's VGA cord to the wrong place. I should have put it on the graphic card, whereas I put it on the motherboard, and that's why I couldn't get the screen. So guys, now finally let's boot our PC for the first time and see what happens. I'm gonna press the on button over here. Okay. Okay, so it's booting up. So here it is guys, it's the BIOS menu. That means everything is working well. I'm gonna just show you all over again. That's our processor, i3-4150 CPU at 3.5 gigahertz, and then the memory is also DDR3 8 GB. Temperature is showing, that means the heatsink is working well. The CPU fan is also good, and everything looks nice. And from here onward guys, I think I'm gonna be making a new video on how you can install a new operating system off of pen drive. Well, that's it from me this time guys. If you liked my video, if you don't like my video, please make sure you leave a comment down there, and please like my video if you think it was helpful, and subscribe, because there'll be a lot more coming regarding computer and hardware. So thank you very much guys. Peace.